In this modern life full of stress and anxiety, we often feel confused and troubled. Whether it's due to work stress, relationship issues, health difficulties, or any number of other reasons, worries seem to be with us all the time. However, there is a Buddhist proverb that reminds us, if you don't trouble yourself, others will never be able to trouble you. This sentence reveals a profound truth. Troubles originate from our inner reactions and concepts. This truth is also reflected in the core teaching of Buddhism, which is the concept of no self. The concept of selflessness teaches us that all things have no self-nature. They arise from the combination of causes and conditions, and will perish when the causes and conditions are exhausted. By recognizing the illusory nature of the individual self, we can transcend inner troubles and achieve peace of mind and nirvana. This article will delve into this topic, exploring in detail the origin, basic principles, and how to apply it to achieve inner liberation, and help you better understand the application of selflessness in contemporary life to achieve greater peace and happiness. Life, anata or anatman, is an important concept in Buddhism, derived from the teachings of the Buddha. The Buddha developed this idea in India in the 6th century BC, and elaborated on it through his own journey to awakening. The basic idea of the concept of no self is that all things have no self-nature. They do not exist on their own, but arise due to the combination of causes and conditions, and will perish when the causes and conditions are exhausted. This concept challenges our common views of the self and the world, emphasizing the illusory nature of the idea of the individual self. A core concept of the no-self view is that the individual self-view is illusory. We are conditioned to think of ourselves as a fixed, eternal entity, but this self-conception is wrong. According to the view of no self, the individual self-view is just a wrong perception, which causes us to fall into endless desires, attachments, and worries. Understanding the illusory nature of individual self-view is the first step to the view of no self. The concept of anata occupies an important place in Buddhist teachings because it provides a key to understanding defilements and liberation. By recognizing the illusory nature of the self-view, individuals can free themselves from their own constraints and achieve peace of mind and nirvana. The practice of anata is accomplished through techniques such as meditation and vipassana. Meditation is a key method through which an individual can observe changes in thoughts, feelings, and body and recognize their impermanent nature. This helps to break down the individual's self-view and makes it easier for the individual to accept the selfless nature of all things. Vipassana also helps individuals observe inner thoughts and emotions to understand how they are formed and dissipated. The practice of non-self requires diligence and practice to develop wisdom and gradually reduce self-attachment. The practice of non-self takes time and effort. Individuals need to diligently cultivate wisdom to understand the illusory nature of everything and gradually reduce self-attachment. This may require long-term practice and effort, but ultimately spiritual liberation can be achieved. In Buddhism, nirvana is seen as a state of extreme liberation and peace. It represents the ultimate goal of the individual, which is to transcend the worries and reincarnations of reincarnation. Through the practice of non-self, individuals can achieve nirvana and experience eternal peace and liberation. The practice of not-self helps to overcome various defilements, including greed, hatred, ignorance, etc. By recognizing the impermanent nature of all things and the illusory nature of one's self-view, individuals can reduce attachments and desires, thereby achieving spiritual liberation. The application of selflessness can help us reduce anxiety and stress. When we recognize that anxiety and stress come from attachments to things and worries about the future, we can learn to release these attachments, focus on the present, and accept everything as it is. This concept helps us better cope with challenges and reduce our inner insecurities. The view of no self is also very beneficial for improving interpersonal relationships. When we understand that everyone is the product of causes and conditions, we are more likely to accept the imperfections and differences of others and reduce conflicts and worries. It is also easier for us to show kindness and empathy because we understand that others are going through life's difficulties too. The practice of not-self helps to increase self-awareness. Through meditation and mindfulness, we can better observe our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors and understand how they are affected by self-attachment. This kind of self-awareness helps us better understand ourselves and improve our self-control and emotional management abilities. The application of selflessness helps us achieve inner peace when we are no longer attached to external things and no longer swayed by emotions and desires. We can experience an inner peace. This kind of tranquility is not disturbed by changes in the outside world. It comes from a deep understanding of everything. Ultimately, the application of anata can help us achieve nirvana, the highest state of mind. Nirvana represents transcending all worries and attachments and reaching eternal peace and liberation. Through the practice of selflessness, we can reach this state and experience the true meaning and value of life. The state of nirvana represents reaching a state beyond suffering and troubles, allowing one to achieve peace of mind. In this state, the outside world will no longer affect you because you have awakened. The idea of no self is a powerful tool that can help us reduce our worries and achieve inner peace and harmony. The concept of no self reminds us that all things are the product of the combination of causes and conditions. They do not exist on their own and will perish when their causes and conditions are exhausted. This understanding can be applied to our lives to help us reduce anxiety, improve relationships, increase self-awareness, and ultimately achieve inner peace. The concept of no self is a path to spiritual liberation. It reminds us to take charge of our own inner world and helps us achieve a more meaningful and happy life. Whether you have Buddhist beliefs or not, this principle helps everyone achieve a better version of themselves and a more fulfilling life. Let us use the wisdom of anata together to move toward inner peace and harmony.